For the bewitching of the naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest. In this place, that's what it does, man. America, they'll bewitch you, put a spell on you. Through the music, the media is a primary instrument that Esau uses to get into to our children's minds, into adult minds, and make them go off, man. It's a witchcraft, right? For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concubines doth undermine the simple mind. See, you got a man.
God bless you guys.
Nah, we're good. We don't need that.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need that.
Yeah, you do.
No, we don't. We're out here preaching. No, what is love? Hold on. I don't want it. I'm asking you a question. What is love? Love is God. Let me show you something. No, you come from your father Esau. You're an Edomite. Let me show you something. This is 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous. This man don't keep the commandments. That's what love is. Yes, the Most High is love, but
it's also wrath too.
Exactly. But, you know, it's deeper than just a word. Love is an action word. That's what a lot of people they throw out words carelessly, man. Oh, I love you. You don't love me, man. Get out of my face. You don't love me.
Bring up Psalms 83, verse, I think, what was it? Yeah, starting from chapter 1.
Psalms 83?
Yeah, I asked my teacher from my congregation about that scripture, and I even had him read it. And then I gave him a precept to him, which was Lamentations chapter 5.
Right.
And then he started to talk about it, and then stopped. He was like, why you don't want to talk about the 12 tribes? Everybody keeps asking about the 12 tribes. What are you hiding?
Yeah.
I already know these things because he asked me, do you still study that Hebrew Israelite stuff? I was like, not so much no more, I know who I am. You know? But it just bothers me, bro, because like they run away from the truth.
Oh, yeah.
Really, they get scared.
Yeah. Because they don't have the answers, too. Really. They don't have the answers. And then if they do come across us and they watch videos, they cast it away. They cast it out of their mind because in their mind they think it's wrong or whatever. But you said Psalms 83 and what?
Starting from verse 1 where it says that, how they're trying to destroy.
Yeah, the crafty counsel.
Yeah.
It's also in Psalms chapter 1 too. This is Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. That's talking about the enemies, that's the other nations, Esau, with the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greeks, and in our time Esau, the so-called white man, which is he's a stock of the Romans. They all come from Amalek, but the primary root of that is Esau, Edom. All right. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. And who are the hidden ones? The elect. That crafty counsel is, like I was making mention, through their philosophy, their false doctrines, through their Christianity system that they got set up, through the media. You know, it's a long list of things that this man has created to deceive us. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And how do they do that? By the lie. By telling you that you're an African. By telling you that you're black. By telling you you're a Mexican, a spig, a wetback. Right? That's how they do it. And you're like, damn, I am a piece of that. Yeah, I ain't nobody. I'm just a Gentile, just following the white man, man. I'm always fucking up. But really, he's the one. He's the one that's doing that brainwashing. The witchcraft. Because he knows that if we come back to our right state of mind, we remember ourselves, Yahweh is going to come back like he did in the time of Egypt. When he delivered his people. We start calling on that name, he heard us. He came and delivered us. He sent prophets, which was Moses and Aaron. It's like today, there's many prophets that are sent to the four corners of the earth, and we're gathering up the elect. It's the Spirit, man. because he heard that cry. So he started waking up the prophets in this time to prepare you for the coming destruction. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent, with one agreement, all the other nations. They all take part in it with Esau to destroy these people on the sign right here. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. Edom is a so-called white man that we believe that is Esau, the Edomites. Some people believe it's the Arabs. You know, we got their own little different doctrines. The Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs, the people over there in the Middle East, of Moab, Chinese, and the Hagarenes, Jubal, Ammon, and Amalek. With Amalek are the Jews that are over there in Israel today. They're claiming themselves to be the Jews, which they're Jewish. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. So all these different nations have gathered together to go up against these people on the side now. The people of the Most High, the Israelites. Which primarily they have a problem with the hidden ones, which are the elect. That's who they're trying to cut away, because the elect are the ones that have that connection with Yahawashi in its true essence. We all have a spirituality as people, but some our people, the 2/3, don't have that connection with the Most High the way they have to, the way they need to. Because you have to understand that 2/3 are going to be cut off and die on this side, whether you claim yourself to be an Israelite or not. Will die on this side if you're not part of the elect. What did you have? Is that all you wanted me to bring out in that one?
That one and what was it? The precept on it.
Lamentations 5.
It's like I said, he didn't explain it, bro.
Lamentations chapter 5, verse 1. It says, remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. See, and it keeps saying these things because we're still in our captivity to our day. We're still saying the same thing. How long, O Lord? How long? Like when the so-called neighbors were probably over in slavery. And the convicts, what song were they singing? Kumbaya, swing, come by, O Lord, swing all those sweet chariots. And the Hebrew is Kumbaya, which means rise, O Lord, rise Yahweh. For what? For deliverance from our enemies, from our captivity. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach for the things that we've done wrong. This is our reproach. This is what we get for rebelling against Yahawashi. Alright, the curses that are spoken of in Deuteronomy 28. With 15 all the way down to 68. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. Get 62 all get Micah. Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Right, it said, our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. Meaning they taken over our heritage. They took that name Jewish or Jew and they switched it into Jewish. When you break down that word, it means not so quiet. They're not the real thing. They're the ones that taking the Bible into their hand and they sit in a pulpit and they claim that they're men of the Lord. They're the ones that paint all the in the movies. The men that are spoken in the Bible they're all so-called white people, pale skin, right? They taking our heritage, our inheritance, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. But this is our glory now. Our brothers finding that Micah 2. We'll bring out another one. Got it? 2 and 1.
This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
This is what this man has done. Go ahead. Esau.
When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in their power of their hand.
Yeah, it's in their power to do these things. They took the heritage of the Native American Indians. They took their style, right? Now they say they're Cherokee. They're all these different tribes, but that's because their forefather raped a Native American Indian woman. You know? They take their ideas. You know, a lot of stuff that they have, like television sets, all that, the so-called black man created that, man. They invented that. But he stamps, he puts his name on it. Like he puts the name on the lands. America's what? America Vespucci. And they named his land after him. You know? They named the planets after their own gods. The Romans and the Greeks. Jupiter, Saturn, the Romans. Right? They name everything after their own selves. They claim everything to be theirs, but really it's not. This earth, when you go back to the Garden of Eden, the book of Genesis, Eden is Aidan, which means paradise or joy of pleasure. This earth was created for our pleasure. And not to do wickedness, don't take that word and twist it. That's a good, in a good sense. To live. Because food, the trees, the herbs, all that is medicine for this body. It's like a car, vehicle. You put good gas, you want to put good oil. That's what the food is not. The food is today. People think food is just to eat, to get full. You know what I'm saying? To get all fat. No. You're supposed to put food into you. It's medicine, man. It helps you live on proper medicine. Now you got all these different ingredients that Esau puts in the food to destroy you, man. To lower your frequency, your spirit, to not knowing the truth. Right? Read that part. Go ahead. Keep reading.
And they covet.
And they covet
Fields and take
they
them by
covet fields
violence.
and take them by violence, man. Right, go ahead.
And houses. And take them away. So they oppress a man.
They oppress a man.
And his house. Even a man and his heritage.
Even a man and his heritage. So going back to Lamentations 5 and 2, our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. An alien is not no creature. The word alien means a foreigner. Right? So these other nations are foreigners. Anything outside of the nation of Israel is considered a foreigner, a stranger or a Gentile. But check it out. We also are likened as strangers or foreigners. Or aliens. It tells you that in the New Testament. That's only because we were casted away from our power, from our inheritance, which is the law, statutes, commandments, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's what that inheritance is. Because the earth is really all ours. The universe, everything is going to be given back to us in its full. The earth and the universe, everything outside of you. Yahawashi said, I'll go and prepare a place for you. Kingdoms outside of this galaxy are and we're going to be ours. We're going to rule everything. Right? That's that inheritance that I'm talking about. This law, statutes, commandments, covenants, promises that were given to us. The high holiness, the Sabbath day. Right? The Feast of Tabernacles. What?
I said they ain't ready. War's coming up next week.
What is it?
The Day of Atonement.
Oh, the Day of Atonement? If the Day of Atonement lasts. We already went through it.
Okay.
Yeah. Where you getting yours from?
I do like how you say. I kind of mix both. So I do the what do you call it? The Levitical calendar.
Levitical?
And then I also studied the Menexai.
Was that Jewish?
The high priest, yes. Only because we don't have nothing out here for us to go to, bro.
So that's why, like, first and foremost, I can tell you straight up, man, like if you keep reading, Esau is the devil. He's a liar. So that right there on the rip, you should not be following something that they designed or what they claim is true. Because they're straight up. And they'll be the Jews that are over there, they're spoken of as the Bible, as the synagogue of Satan. The synagogue of Satan, those Jews. They're not no priests, they're devils. You cannot go with anything that they have said. You have to come straight out of here. You have to go based off the lunar calendar. Because that's how our forefathers are in the ancients went by according to the moon to discern that time. Like I said, the Day of Atonement already passed. We're already observing. And like I said, we go under great millstone, GMS. And go through according to the lunar calendar, the moon cycle. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we do it. Now we don't go, like I said, we don't go according to Esau. So the Day of Atonement already passed. But like I said, what's gonna say? Let me ask you a question. What's gonna bring salvation to you? Is it by works or faith? Okay, it is. That's true. So works, but works have to be done though, right? Because that's you fulfilling the whole spectrum of a man that's the elect. Lie. You have to do that. But your faith is what's gonna deliver you. You ain't gonna be saved by works, by observing all these things, being like the Pharisees. The Pharisees did all that. But Yahawashi, when he rebuked the Pharisees, he said, read Matthew 23 and 1. Yahawashi rebuked the Pharisees. You know, because they weren't right.
Yeah, because they were making up more things to keep them out of what you call it, bondage, or they forgot about the law.
Yeah, they were more about carnal things versus the spirit. You know, the law, because the law, in a sense, you read in Hebrews, is carnal, some of the things. But you got to rehearse it. Like I made a comment earlier, that's in the book of Judges 11 and 5. It says rehearse the righteous acts. What's the word rehearsal? Practice. Get it right. Now you know the Day of Atonement passed. All you have to do is go on YouTube and look us up, man. GMS, Great Millstone. You know what I'm saying? That's who I follow. I follow my elders. Every other camp has their elder. I follow my elder, Great Millstone. Like I said, you can go on there and look us up. You can look up our channel. You know, it's GMS Yabatazan. It's a long word, but you know, you can look me up too, but that's what we go for. You know what I'm saying? So the brother's gonna read this real quick. Go ahead. Matthew 23 and 1.
This is Matthew chapter 23, verse 1. Then spake Yahawashi to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All thereof, whatsoever they bid, you observe. That observe and do, but do not ye after their works.
Don't do after their works. Because if you can find it in the scriptures, then do it. Right? If you find it here, do it. Because the scripture said that everything that can be a word be alive, but the word of God true. So you know the Day of Atonement's in, right? But every day should be a Day of Atonement. Because what's the word atone?
To sacrifice.
It's to make right.
Yeah.
To correct, amend. That's what that word means. So when that day comes, the Day of Atonement, when it came for us, when we observed it was as if a fast. We didn't eat, we didn't drink for that whole 24-hour day, from the time the sun set to beginning of the day to the sunset on the next day. Right? That's how we did. We fast that whole time. We afflicted ourselves. But that should be on a daily basis. On what, and not only to your own self, what you decided to do. You see what I'm saying? It's not just that one particular day. One day, this day I had to put my whole heart and soul into that Day of Atonement, when every day counts. So, you know what I'm saying? Every day matters. But like I said, we walk in, well, I didn't bring it out, but it said that we walk in the peril of our own overthrow. And any time we could be overthrown in this place. But even by a single thought, if the Most High don't want you, he's going to catch you to get rid of you. Because he sees something that's not right. We're all not good. Because the scripture says, in all our righteousness, we're still as filthy rags. But you have to have a sincere, broken heart. You have a willing desire to follow the truth, man. Not mix things. Don't mingle. Read that one more time.
Matthew chapter 23, verse 1. Then spake Yahawashi to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore, whatsoever they bid, you observe. That observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. For they find heavy burdens and grievous to be borne.
When I say grievous to be borne, the word grievous means thing that's hard to do. Right? Now when you go back to 1 John, where I read about what was love, in that same book, it said that the Lord's laws commandments are not grievous. They're not hard. You make them hard because of the spirit that's on you. Whether it be the lust of the flesh, or there's a demon on you. Say you don't want to follow the law. The lust of your eyes, the flesh, the pride of life. That's because of you. The laws are easy to follow. The ones that we're able to follow. Now there's some that we can't follow 100%. But the ones that I named, the minimum, like the small ones. Not eating pork, not changing, not getting lined up. Right? Not getting edged up. Not committing adultery. Not lying. Not working ill towards your neighbor. Those things are easy. You know what I'm saying? Read that part again.
For they bind heavy burdens and grievous.
They bind heavy burdens and grievous
to be borne.
To carry.
And lay them on men's shoulders.
And what is that talking about? Because you keep reading all the way down, they were more concerned about getting tangible things. Like tithes. They were worried about getting fruit. Because they would pay tithes with fruit, food. That's what they were worried about. Money, gold. Right? The Most High desires a sacrifice of what? A broken spirit, man. A humble heart. And somebody that's seeking the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's what he requires. He don't require money or the things that the Pharisees and scribes were wanting. Right?
But that's
why they made it hard for people back then. They would make people like if they couldn't do it. And it tells you, keep reading, it goes into that.
But they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their balustrades and enlarge the borders of their garments.
They wanted to look and appear as if they were men of the Lord. But really they weren't, man. They were evil. They were evil men. That's why Yahawashi rebuked them. He knew. And that's the beautiful thing about the scriptures, is that one of the gifts of the Spirit is the spirit of discernment. And you can see through people, man. You can see what they're about. And that Yahawashi knew the heart of men. It tells you that in the book of John. He knew the heart of men. And sometimes he didn't even speak to them. He didn't even make miracles in his own city. Yeah, exactly. He didn't even do anything there because they didn't believe. He knows men's heart.
And love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seat in the synagogues.
Going back to those fake Jews over there. That's how they are. They want to appear the Pope, the Catholics. They're the same way. They don't know those scriptures. Those scriptures. What we're doing right now, not even common pastor can do what we're doing right now. Because the Spirit ain't dealing with them. The Spirit is what? What is the Spirit of the Most High? Quickening Spirit. The word quick means to make alive. They're not alive, man. A lot of people out here, what everybody say? They're nothing but zombies out here. Dead men walk. That's what they are. Yeah. But that's fulfilling prophecy, though. When people say that, because in the book of Ezekiel, said that when it was commanded to Ezekiel, the Spirit, go prophesy into the valley of dry bones. Because who was that valley of dry bones? These people on the side, not knowing who they were. Stripped away from their inheritance. Everything, man. Not knowing who they are as a people, the wisdom, knowledge, them being dumb, not knowing how to speak, not being eloquent, not being bold in the negative sense, not being bold for righteousness. That's what these people do, man. We're out here to uplift our people. Rise, Israel. That's what Yahawashi says, man. From the four corners of the earth, they're going to rise. They're going to be called. They're going to be turned into men. They're going to put away the childish things. They're going to turn into men and come into this word and present their bodies a living sacrifice. That's the way it was intended. Go ahead, read so I can go back to Lamentations 5.
And greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi, but be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Mashiach, the Messiah,
Yahawashi.
And all ye are brethren, and call no man.
Yeah, because I mean, you have order, you have rank. Yahawashi, he was above the apostles, but he lowered himself, but he was still above the apostles. And they knew that. He was the Messiah. Ain't nothing above Yahawashi. But he lowered himself just to be an example of how we have to be brotherly to one another. Because like I mentioned, ain't nothing but wickedness out here, man. You got these so-called homeboys. They'll do dirt. They'll be walking shoulder to shoulder, but he's popping his wife, his homeboy's wife, and the dude don't even know it. Or he may be even cool with it. That's not how we function over here within this brotherhood, man. Now I'm talking about either the brothers in Dallas, the brothers in LA, the GMS camp, all those brothers, we all have the same mind frame. We all see eye to eye. And we see that shit, we're going to nip it and get it out. That's what Yahawashi was setting that example. Because we're not above one another. But there's rank. That's in everything. You got that in the job, you got that in the army, you got that in that's just common sense. You got elders. Right? But not to be proud or arrogant, or to be a tyrant. But to be equal, a brother. We're all one body, right? And the Pharisees, they were like that. They would look down on the people. They were condescending to them.
I'm laughing because everything that I explained to my congregation last Saturday. And they thought I was mad. But were you mad? I was like, no. The Father put that on my spirit, and this is what he told me to tell you.
Yeah, man, there's no respect to a person, man, when it comes to this truth. And you got to do, when you come to serve the Lord, man, the Most High, this book is everywhere. You can go and buy, anybody can buy this book. But this book, the spirit that's contained in this book is not to be handled wickedly. It tells you that in Corinthians, that anybody takes part in eating this book, you can bring damnation to yourself. You gotta be very careful when you're dealing with the word of Yahawashi. People don't consider things, man. Like I said, there's words that people throw out loosely. They don't consider this book. How much more this book, man? It tells you that in Psalms 58, I believe, that they cast his word behind him because he hates instruction. Right? Go ahead.
Neither be ye called masters, for there is one master, even the Messiah, which is Yahawashi. But
we all know through scripture that you have to have a teacher. That's what the word master means, a teacher. We all know we have teachers. So don't get it twisted. There's a balance to things, and there's ways of looking at it.
But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant.
Yeah, because the more humble you are, the more greater you are. It tells you that in this book. And who was more humble amongst all those men when Yahawashi was on earth? That's why he's the top one. That's why he's that one. There ain't nothing greater than him except for his father Yahweh. But Yahweh gave him the power, all authority over to his son. But he set that example. So amongst brothers, the more humble a brother is, he's greater. He's great. But we're all equal. We're all in the same body. My finger, this finger ain't greater than this finger. You know what I'm saying? They're all equal. My left foot ain't greater than my right foot. They're great. But I mean, my right might be stronger than my left, but they're still great. I don't choose this one over this one. Yeah, I may do more things with my right, but they're still good. It's all one body. They ain't fighting against one another, and that's how the body should be amongst brothers. The Pharisees, they were doing all that bullshit. They were wicked, fighting for that main spot. That's why guys that have been in the truth come out to the highways and the byways, put on the garment, present their body as living sacrifice. They move up fast because they want that one seat. They want to be in this spot, speaking. They want to be the main speaker. They want to be the one to cut an individual person. But they came with that evil intent. They didn't come by the promotion of the spirit of Yahawashi in his time. Because every brother has his own lot. The Most High will either promote you or demote you. And you don't want to be demoted by Yahawashi because that's going to be you getting kicked out. And if he has mercy to bring you back in, he'll bring you back in. But those people, they weren't set up to be holding the seat of Moses, the Pharisees. It's like the people in the churches. They're not meant to be there. They're not meant to hold the Bible. They're not meant to be uttering the words out of this book because they're mangling the scripture.
And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted.
first that are last, the last shall be first, and the first last. The last are waking up. Who is that? The ones, the poor of this world. The ones that people don't agree with that should be holding this book. But guess what? This wasn't of men. This was of Yahawashi and Yahawashi that woke us up one day. Whether it had been via the internet or speaking word to word, face to face. That's the spirit. We didn't go to no college, no degree. We weren't brought in by our daddy. Well, come in, son. You can be my right-hand man in this church. Run my business. Get rich.
But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in.
Yep, like you brought that Lamentations 5 and Psalms 83. Hey, can you explain this to me? They couldn't do it. And even if they did have that knowledge, they wouldn't share that life because they're devils. They don't want you to know the truth. A devil, an enemy, Satan, Esau, he'll never do that. The scriptures say in the book of Daniel chapter 12, the wicked, you know where it's at? Let me bring it out. The book of Daniel, it says, Daniel 12 and 10, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So they'll never want to speak. Get Psalms 58:1. The wicked will never understand, man. And if they do have that, as far as what I mean, I'm not gonna say understanding. If they do know, they ain't gonna tell it. They're gonna keep it back, and they're gonna tell you a lie instead of telling you the truth. Right? Psalms 58:1. I'll bring it out. This is Psalms 58:1, or verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. They will never speak the truth. As soon as they're born, they speak lies. So that's the answer to that question. But let me go back to Lamentations 5. It says our inheritance is turned to strangers and our houses to aliens. Now, the inheritance is not just a landmass. It's deeper than that. It's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Pursuant to Isaiah 34. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding shall be the stability of thy times. That's how precious this word is. This word is able to save your soul, man. Right? This is in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that you should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. See, in the land where we go to possess, we are to do what? Rehearse the righteous acts. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, sure.